you used to like I suppose we'll just go backwards a bit. Like Mississippi Fred McDowell and all those guys used to like kind of mentor you, and what kind of what advice did they give? Like were they just going, look, just play like it's no tomorrow, or something like
Well,
that, or you know?
well, I mean, with Fred and guys like him, and older guys, him, they were, it was a new thing for them, the hippie audience and all that stuff. He was, I mean, coming to San Francisco, I'm afraid it was a major culture shock,
Yeah,
but serious. I mean, he'd seen hippies, but he'd never been to where all the hippies were from,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So when Fred seen him, it was an eye opener for him. But he had come up out of another generation, and he knew that his music was his way out.
yeah,
Where he'd been from, and he wasn't. He was very very happy to be appreciated. I can tell you that, and he showed me a few things, and God bless him. But I couldn't. There's no way in God's green earth I could keep up with Fred, and
yeah.
then or now. I didn't see very many people that could.
Yeah,
I mean, just the way he played and what he played when he really got going. I mean, just to give you an example, you see all these like funk bass players popping the strings and all that stuff.
yeah,
Fred was doing that years ago, and I mean the strings would be look like they were been flying off the frets. But Fred got all that from the guys before him, Charlie Patton and those guys, getting the guitar and popping the strings and flipping it up in the air and all that stuff.
yeah,
All that was guys, playing the guitar with their teeth. T-Bone Walker didn't start that. Jimi Hendrix didn't start it, and neither did Stevie Ray Vaughan.
yeah.
I mean, Charlie Patton was doing that years ago.
Wow.
Now, T-Bone, I mean, and, this is word of mouth because it was many, 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 many years ago.
Yeah,
But it's like anything else. It's handed down, and it was utilized and brought up, and so everybody's sort of seen it now.
yeah, yeah. Cool. So, there's a song that I love that you do. It's a classic. I was wondering how you write songs, but this one in particular was like too drunk to drive drunk.
Too drunk to drive drunk this time.
Yeah, that
Well,
just
actually, that's me and my song. One of my songwriting partners, JoJo Russo, and Joe's sort of he's sort of dyslexic, and so he writes stuff that a lot of people, when they start to write a song, you want to write it so people understand it. Joe really doesn't care if you understand it. He cares if you feel it. So we sort of, when we write together, I mean, it was really simple to do, but the tricky part of the song was to keep the sort of dyslexic stuff in it.
yeah.
Like I talked in my car talked back to me. I mean, people do talk to their cars, that.
Yeah.
They do. My wife does it all the
My dad used to, my grandfather, just, I kind of do a bit, but no, but they were classic. They used to do it all the time.
Yeah, but you got to look out when your car talk back to you,
Yeah,
and you're in trouble.
yeah. So like for a while there, you went back like to gospel music and that. That's kind of, I mean, I suppose it's all in the same area. That must have been great to kind of, or leave the blues scene for a little bit or whatever, and go and yeah. How was it like doing that? Is that something you really wanted to do, and just to broaden your horizon?
Well, be quite honest, it was just some of my friends were playing in a gospel group, but what it was that the music called me. I went to help the Corinthians out for a night to play bass for a program they were going to do on a Sunday, and I ended up staying for 10 years because the music is what sort of touched me to where I felt like it was something that um, I could express myself in, and it was something. It was a good feeling.
Yeah,
When you play, it's a good feeling.
yeah,
It's not about the money. It's not about the accolades. It's not about anything other than it's good feeling. And when you get a whole church full of people, a whole auditorium full of people shouting and jumping, and for the same reason,
Yeah.
it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's just like, wow, this is
Yeah.
what music's supposed to be about,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's great. So what before we go out on stage, is there like, I mean, you hear people say, "Oh, blimey, so nervous. It's just really hard," and other people that have kind of a routine. I know when I brought John Hammond out, he really kind of liked just to chill out. He wanted to make sure he had eaten, a few hours
Yeah.
before, so he wasn't just sort of just eating and then jumping up. What do you like to do to sort of to get in the zone, ready to ready to go out there?
Well, to be quite honest, it depends. It depends on if you've been traveling all day. For me, it depends on if I've been traveling all day.
Mm.
I try to get a little rest, just to lay down and not talk for a while.
Yeah.
It depends if we've been there all day or something. Then I might warm up a little bit, try to warm my voice up some, and
Mm.
sometimes me and the guys get back stage and sing, because there's some songs where we all sing on,
Yeah.
and so it depends. I don't have a formula,
Yeah.
and I don't. What I don't like is to. The one thing I don't like, and everybody knows this, if I got to play at 10 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and I have to sit there from 5 till 10, that sort of drives me nuts.
Oh no.
If I'm if I'm gonna be there, I want to play.
Yeah.
Or if it's gonna be from 5 to 10, we better be at the Madison Square Garden. It better be the Crossroads Festival.
Yeah. No, well, we won't. We won't.
I know
do that.
sometimes that's the way things work out. That sometimes it's just the way it is.
Yeah, but well, when you're in Australia, we won't be doing that kind of thing. you, you'll have plenty of rest, and when it's time to go, you'll be on. You won't be just hanging around, because that kind of thing too for me. It drives me up the wall. But so how do you write songs? Like you've got, like, on the new album, you've got quite a few originals on there. It's like 9 out of the 12 songs or something is originals.
Well, it's sometimes you have ideas. Sometimes ideas are, whole ideas, complete ideas. Sometimes it's part of an idea. You might wait a month, you might wait a year, you might wait 2 years and say, oh, and something could happen to spark that interest, to spark the other part of the song, to where the whole song reveals itself. Then, what I've done a lot in my last couple of albums last few albums really, is write songs with different people. I write songs with different people that I can write with.
Yeah.
Because for me, I sort of work quick. I don't like, same when I record. I don't like taking 3, 4, 5, 7 weeks to make an album. I just don't. It's not my DNA. So if I make it in a week, I'm happy.
Yeah.
If we're a little bit longer, okay. Well, I guess there's something you need me to sit around for. But I'm really not. I like the old way people recorded, where everybody get in the room and everybody play. And if you got to fix something, maybe you got to fix something. But but the whole thing, if the bass player comes in on Tuesday and the drummer comes in on Wednesday, and the whole record goes like that, I don't know where the music's at.
Yeah. It's kind of good just to get in there and capture the moment almost.
Yeah.
So,
but I've been through the situation where in the '90s we had we did it certain ways, and this and that and the other, and people say, oh, the records are slick and that and the other, but that's the way everybody was recording, basically, at certain points, so it's I think everything sort of goes in a cycle, and that sort of ran its course.
Yeah. So what would be a memorable moment for you, that you've kind of like gone, wow, it's just not going to get any better than this. This is unreal. This is, heaven. This is really good. Like when you say playing, either, I don't know, collaboration with someone, or just a particular gig that just, was just great. I mean, there must be a lot of them.
I'm fortunate. I've had a few of them, but one of them was in the studio. Me and we were making a James Cotton record called "Deep in the Blues," and James Cotton, myself, a guy named Dave Maxwell, great keyboard player, and Charlie Hayden, the late Charlie Hayden, great man and musician. And it was just because of the four of us were sort of like four disparate sort of entities. You know, we all four had our own bands, and we were all there for Cotton, but we all four had our own bands. I mean, we had Charlie coming from jazz, Ornette Coleman. You had me coming from, all that mixed match stuff in San Francisco and the blues and all kind of psychedelic stuff. You had Dave, Dave Maxwell being a big part of Freddie King's band and all those guys he played with. Then you had Cotton. I mean, what can you say? It's Cotton. It's the man.
Yeah.
One of the best living blues harmonica player. The best of all, the best. But we made that record and we didn't rehearse. We did 27 songs in 2 days.
Wow.
and it was great. It was a lot of fun and won the Grammy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, that's, yeah, isn't it? That's it. That's pretty good. It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So, is there one, like, say, a moment where it was a funny moment? A friend of mine, he was supporting Lonnie Mack years ago when Lonnie Mack came, into town, and Lonnie Mack got him up to play, and he kind of didn't know what song to play because Lonnie Mack said, "Well, you pick it," and he's like, "Well," so he picked "I'm Ready," I think, yeah, "I'm Ready," and proceeded to count it in too fast, something or other, and it just, has there been any kind of funny, moments that have kind of, left you laughing your head off?
Well, yeah, there's a few. I remember once I was making a video. I had a record called Great Guitars.
Great album.
And me and the producer, co-producer Steve Cropper, we were at for some reason we were in Chicago to put Buddy Guy on my record, and my manager at the time. And so we did it, put Buddy Guy and Otis Rush on the record, and I said we're going to celebrate. So we were going Buddy's Club. Buddy's come with us, so everything's fine. And so we get to Buddy's Club, and it's a private party, so there can't be any audience. But of course, it's Buddy's Club, so, and I'm with Steve Cropper, so it's all good. I mean, and so young guys, I guess it was at the time of the .com was really big. Young guys said, "Well, man, Buddy, would you come and play a song?" And Buddy said, "I can't play a song." And the guy says, "Well, give you $10,000 to play a song." And I don't know what happened. I just heard that. I think I heard that comment. And so next thing I know, Buddy was on stage with his guitar. And I think he must have played about 5 notes. And then he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Cropper and Joe Louis Walker." And that's the truth. And I'm taking it. I don't know. But Buddy's got a supersonic guitar.
Yeah.
And Cropper sure couldn't play it because he can't play a Stratocaster. And Buddy's guitar is just like it's a force of nature. I think Buddy needs a guitar like that.
Oh, jeez, that's pardon me. That's funny. So,
But that was sort of fun.
Yeah, that's classic. So you were vegetarian. Have you always been vegetarian?
No, I haven't always been vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for a few years when I was young, about 19 to about 23. I was trying to be a strict vegetarian and doing real good at it. But, being a musician, you sort of had to eat what you could, eat when you can, whatever you can, how you can. So I sort of got away from it. But now I'm in a position where I feel like I can take a little time out and maybe get some and promoters and people who do backline are a lot more hip to vegetarians now.
Yeah.
And and the food is just not. I mean, the veggie burgers and different things have a lot of flavor to them now too. So it's not so much like you're penalized for eating right.
Yeah. So, what can we expect, Joe? When you're down here. You've got the Hornet's Nest album out, I suppose you'll be playing a lot of songs off that, and what are you going to do?
Well, we got a lot of tunes from a lot of from a sort of a 25 years. I mean, we got a nice bit of songs, and one thing about it coming to Australia is that some of my YouTubes were the ones that I'd done in Australia were the ones that a lot of people liked.
Yeah.
I've had, and in different configurations, me when I was at WC Handy All Stars with Duke Robillard and Marsha Ball and in Clearwater and me with my bands. The first time we came there with the horn band, and then I think another time I came there without the horn band, and then the last time I was in Australia with Morali Coryell, Larry Coryell's son, and Amar Sandi from Algeria were my guests. And we had a wonderful time because it was sort of a mixture of different styles of music. So it was really cool. So I have friends, to say all that to say this, I have friends in Australia who ask me to play different songs, and I've been getting some interest. Joe, will you play that? Joe, will you play this? Joe, will you play? So we're going to play a little bit of different periods, of course,
Yeah.
sort of focusing on the Hornet's Nest, but
Yeah.
really just not, we aren't out there just pushing this one record. We're out there to do a thing of, shit of the whole catalog.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, cool. Cool. Excellent. So, well, I suppose that's we could keep talking for hours, but that's really good, John. I'm so glad. It's funny, like on the Skype phone, it's classic, like technology, like it's classic, But well, thanks so much for everything, and really looking forward to you, meeting at the airport and getting in, and having a great time on tour. You know?
For sure, for sure. And I just wanted to say I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing some old friends and seeing some new friends. 'Cause this will be the most time I spent in Australia, and I always thought, every time anybody asked me what is Australia like, and I would just always tell them, man. And this is the way I feel about it. The first time I came there, I looked up in the air, and I swear to God, I looked up in the sky at nighttime, and I swear to God, I just could have grabbed a star, and put it in my pocket,
Yeah.
And then I looked down on the water; it was sort of clean, I was
Yeah.
like, man, this is great.
Yeah, no, it's where I live in here in Butonga. Um, there's not a lot of street lights around, so at night time, yeah, the stars are just there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
magic. Really good. All right,
it's great.
thanks so much for this. I'll take care, and we'll see you soon. I'm doing these blogs because I love blues music, and I know you guys do too. So let's share it. Share it to all your friends and show them the power of blues music.